What's going on, everyone? So, we got this article over on Bleacher Report about the best big threes in the league, right? That's kind of the metric. It's been a thing for years, right? Like, who's your top three guys? Like Austin Reaves, like, is he the third, the best third man in all of basketball and whatnot, right? Well, they did a whole breakdown. They did a whole kind of, hey, these are the teams. Now, this is the best trio in basketball is not the same as best team or anything like that, right? Because overall team is very different because, we got like Bleacher Report and ESPN, they're ranking all these different things. And right, like the Lakers were ranked like 7th in the West and 10th overall in the league and all that stuff. Well, you go through the big threes, right? And there was the top three big threes. I actually thought, okay, fine. So the top three were SGA, Shea, right? Chet and Williams, right? So Chet, Williams, Shea. Okay. They just won a championship. They just got maxed out, right? Jalen Williams is really starting to emerge and looking like a star or potential superstar, all that. Chet Holmgren, right? Maybe one of the best. I mean, there's an argument for him to be the best third option in basketball, right? Those three just led the Thunder to a championship. No problem. You want to name them number one? Right there with you. Number two was ranked Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. Again, no problems. I get it. They have the chemistry, right? They've won a championship together. Every year, they're one of the best teams in basketball. I mean, they should have beaten OKC, for being honest, right? And then even the year before that, forced to game 7. You have to beat them. You don't just beat them. And they almost beat OKC with 4 healthy players, right? So again, on board with you. No problem. You want to say that they're number 2? No problem. Number 3 was the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland. Best team in basketball record-wise in the Eastern Conference. They don't have they haven't won a championship or anything like that, right? But I get it. Okay, they're probably going to be the best team in the East next season. They're probably going to have the best record in basketball again just because they're in the East and the East is even weaker and they're going to play all those teams 4 times and stuff. You want to name them third? Again, no problems, right? Then we start getting to the ones that I don't really get and don't make sense. Even if you read the article, don't make sense about the structure, right? Again, you look at the first 3. They all have played together. They all have experience together. They've all had success together, right? Cleveland, hasn't won a championship yet. But again, they've been successful as far as record-wise goes. Okay, well, the next in line, number 4 was Kevin Durant, Alperen Sengun, right? And Amen Thompson, right? How, Sway? Again, what's the criteria, right? Because those 3 guys haven't played together, right? And again, you go over, they're taking the plus minus, but they're taking the plus minus Kevin Durant in Phoenix and adding that to but it doesn't work that way. Right? It's a completely different team, different structures, different roles, all that stuff. Yeah, Kevin Durant's going to do his thing, but, and again, Kevin Durant is phenomenal. But how is he slotted in alongside Sengun and Amen Thompson? Right? What if it is clunky? What if it takes time? Right? How can you rank that? I could understand if you wanted to do because there was an honorable mention section, right? And we'll get to the Lakers and whatnot in a second. But if you wanted to say honorable mention, right, could be the best team, blah, 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 blah. But we don't have the evidence yet. Perfect. No problem. I'd be right there with you. I'd agree with you 100%. Same thing with James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, and Bradley Beal. Again, we don't even know if they can work. Bradley Beal didn't work in Phoenix. And he's going to the Clippers, right? In which James Harden is going to be the point guard with the ball in his hands. Kawhi Leonard is not really known as a passer. And Bradley Beal is best with the ball in his hands once again. So now you have the Clippers who are, again, were ranked 5th amongst big threes in the league. And they haven't played a game together. And out of all the big threes, That's probably the one that, if any was going to fall on its face, probably that one. Again, if you wanted to, again, add the honorable, like, why have an honorable mention section if you're not going to properly utilize the honorable mention? Let's go over the next two, because the next two were in the honorable mention, right? And it was Steph, Butler, and Draymond, right? How are they below two teams that haven't even played together yet? Right? Like, we have the sample size with Steph, Butler, and Draymond, and they were very successful. But you have them in the honorable mention section? Right? Like, so it's not even just a Laker thing. So it's not just me coming up here as a Laker fan on a Laker channel going like, what, like, oh, they're selling the Lakers short. They are selling the Lakers short, and I'll get into that in a minute, but they're also selling the Lakers. They're also selling all these other teams. The seventh was Brunson, Towns, and OG. They were just in the conference finals. Now, during the regular season, they didn't have a great record against winning teams and all that stuff and whatnot. But again, how are you going to put two teams that haven't played together in front of Towns, OG, and Brunson? It's just like, those are silly. And then next up was the Lakers. So you had 7 teams ahead of the Lakers. So Lakers were 8th, right? And that was Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reaves, right? And it's funny is in the honorable mention thing, they talk about like, you know, how the Lakers could essentially be the best because of Luka. He's going to be healthier and whatnot and, you know, better shape and all that stuff. Like, Lakers could end up being the best big three, but like, you know, we're putting them in the honor. So what I said they should have done with, like, okay, if you want to put the Lakers in the honorable mention section, right, which, I mean, we saw Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reaves play, and they actually were good together, right? They were actually better when they were only like Luka and Austin Reaves and like Luka and LeBron. But point is, they had a good plus minus differential, right? Certain lineups, stuff like that. But those three combined, at least during the regular season, were actually good, and we were winning, and they had a good thing. So you should be putting them ahead of teams that haven't played yet. But again, if you want to leave them in the honorable mention because you don't, like, we don't know, right? Because we didn't get a healthy Luka. They didn't play a ton of games together, right? If you want to kind of, which that was their argument, right? Like, Luka's going to be healthier. They could be the best big three in basketball. But we don't know how to rank them, essentially, is what they said. But you should be doing the same thing with the teams that haven't played yet, right? Like, how are you properly slotting in, you know, the Houston Rockets and the Los Angeles Clippers when both teams, again, haven't played together with their stars? Again, we've seen on numerous, I mean, as Laker fans, we've had several teams over the years that on paper look ridiculous and just didn't pan out, right? I mean, so again, it's just, these like, and this is my problem with like these rankings is like, and it's obviously, I feel a lot of the times they're just throwing the Lakers into stuff and, you know, slotting them terribly because they want the buzz, right? Because I'm like, hey, Lakers are, you know, because even in the top team ranking, I did a whole video on that. And I didn't come on and was like, Lakers should be ranked number 1. They're the best team in basketball, right? Like, no, I had them like, you know, I think 4th. Like, I was like, if you want to make an argument, you could put them 4th or 5th in the Western Conference, right? If you want to make them like 7th overall, right? Because like you got like Cavs and stuff like that, and you know, given the East and stuff, right? I did a whole breakdown on it, and I was like, look, like there's zero reason the Lakers should be the 10th best team in all of basketball when they weren't that last year, and there's zero reason the Lakers should be 7th in the West when they weren't that last year. They were 3rd in the West, and they also solved their center position, got a point of attack guy, 3-and-D wing. They solved like almost all their major needs. And you're going to have a healthy, motivated, right, in shape Luka Doncic. And like, again, it's like they don't know these, like, what criteria. And like, you read some of these articles and it's like the reasoning for one, like, gets completely contradicted in another. And it's just like all over the place. Again, like, if you want to put the Lakers, if you want to put the top 3 teams that I mentioned, right? You want to put the Thunder's big three, Nuggets, and the Cavs' big three over the Lakers. I'm with you. No problem. Okay? Then you get to, Brunson, Towns, OG, Steph, Butler, Draymond. Right? I'd probably take LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reaves over them. But you had more of a sample size with Golden State. They were like insanely good during that stretch. Right? Who knows what happens if they don't get hurt. If you want to put them over, sure. Knicks, I wouldn't put over just because, again, they went on a conference finals run, but they were terrible against winning teams. Right? Like they were. Right? Go look at the record last year against like teams over 500. They were awful. So was that just like a weird thing? I don't know. But sure, even if you want to put them over, fine. Tell you what, I'll even give you that. Right? So if you want to put the Lakers as the sixth best big three, which I don't even think you should really rank them. If you really want to if you want to be fair to everybody, you shouldn't rank the Lakers yet because we don't know what it's going to look like. Right? Like now you actually have a real team and center and all these other things. Like there's a lot of factors you can win it. You're going to have Luka healthy. Like you have like an entirely, it's like Luka's like a whole, like you just added Luka today. Right? Like it's completely different. So I don't know. It just, one of those things where I was just like, it's just ridiculous. And like their arguments and criterias are like, again, it's like contradicting. Like you look at the one thing, it's like, okay, like you want to make the top big threes, right? Because you could make an argument that the Lakers are the best big three in all of basketball. Luka, right, is top 3 to 4 player in all of basketball, right? So there's only like 2 or 3 other guys every night or on any given night that will be better than he is, right? So like, let's say you want to go Jokic, Giannis, and SGA, right? Say, because SGA just won a championship MVP, say you want to say that those 3 guys are better than Luka. Okay, fine. Luka's 4th, right? Well, Giannis you're only going to see twice, right? Jokic and SGA you'll see 4 times. So 10 games out of 82, Luka won't be the best player on the court. And he can still be the best on any given night against those guys, but let's just keep it simple, right? So 10 games, so 71 games, 72 games. Math, right? 72 games. Luka Doncic would be the best player on the court. And I know somebody's going to be like, oh, well, he's not going to play all 72. Just keep it simple, right? Point is like 72 games, Luka Doncic is going to be the best player on the team. There is not a number 2 in the league that is anywhere close to as good as LeBron James. There isn't. LeBron James was 6th in MVP voting last year, all NBA, and still putting up like all-time great number. Still 25, 8, and 8. I know he was like 24.5 points, but like still essentially a 25, 8, and 8 guy. Like there's not a single guy in the league that is a better number 2 than LeBron James. And then you add in Austin Reaves, which, I don't think he's like the third guy. The problem is Chet's role and positioning and everything is way different. And what he does for OKC is way different than what Austin Reaves does for the Lakers. So it's like hard to who's better, right? It's like they're playing 2 different positions and doing 2 different things, right? Chet is better for OKC than Austin Reaves is. So it's like Chet, like if you swapped Austin Reaves and Chet, right? Like OKC would probably be worse because you need that exact thing. So even like the third guy be a thing, but Austin Reaves is definitely one of them, right? Like, and I'm somebody that is very honest about Austin Reaves all the time and criticizes him and praises him. And, I'm very fair. I believe I'm fair with him. Right? Like, so, and I'm somebody that just said, I don't trade Austin. I don't if you can get better, trade Austin. I'm not one of the oh, you can't touch Austin Reaves is untouchable. Like, no, trade him. Right? Like, but he's one of the best big threes in basketball, like without a doubt, especially for this Lakers team and what they need. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So if you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.